Hello, everyone. Today we are doing lesson 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. And if you all can see, we are out in nature today. We took everything to the park and we are trying a different video shot and energy with the little birds tweeting above us. So let's begin. Oh, and I got a face on, a mask. All right. It's quite the change, isn't it? Let's begin. Lesson 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Your holiness reverses all the laws of the world. It is beyond every restriction of time, space, distance, and limits of any kind. Your holiness is totally unlimited in its power because it establishes you as a son of God, at one with the mind of his creator. So what it's saying to me here is that when I accept Holy Spirit as my guide and recognize that I am wholly pure and perfect just as God created me, that there is no limit to what I can do. There is no limit to what I'm capable of any longer. Because in giving over everything to Holy Spirit, in standing in his truth and light, I am then able to recognize myself as being a holy child of God. And that is putting myself in alignment with him for that purpose. I am aligning myself with my Creator in all ways. Alex?
Through your holiness, the power of God is made manifest. Through your holiness, the power of God is made available. And there is nothing the power of God cannot do. Your holiness, then, can remove all pain, can end all sorrow, and can solve all problems. It can do so in connection with yourself and with everyone else. Anyone else. It is equal in its power to help anyone because it is equal in its power to save anyone.
So what it's saying there is that in everything, it's only by going through and to God that we are being vested with anything and everything we have. It's recognizing that everything comes through him. Doesn't come from anywhere else. It all comes from God. And when we deny God, we deny ourselves. Continuing on. If you are holy, so is everything God created. You are holy because all things he created are holy. And all things he created are holy because you are. In today's exercises, we will apply the power of your holiness to all problems, difficulties, or suffering in any form that you happen to think of in yourself or in someone else. We will make no distinctions because there are no distinctions. So, it's just as I was saying a few moments ago that when we recognize we are holy, we can't help but recognize the holiness of everyone else and everything else around us. And what this exercise is getting us to see is that we are holy. And everyone and everything around us is just as holy as we are. God only creates the perfect. He cannot create the imperfect. It is quite impossible.
Yeah, the imperfect or the perfect can only pretend to be imperfect.
There you go. All right, Alex?
In the 4 longer practice periods, each preferably to last a full 5 minutes, repeat the idea for today, close your eyes, and then search your mind for any sense of loss or unhappiness of any kind as you see it. Try to make as little distinction as possible between a situation that is difficult for you and one that is difficult for someone else. Identify the situation specifically and also the name of the person concerned. Use this form in applying the idea for today. In the situation involving blank, in which I see myself, there is nothing that my holiness cannot do. In the situation involving blank, in which blank sees himself, there is nothing my holiness cannot do.
From time to time, you may want to vary this procedure and add some relevant thoughts of your own. You might like, for example, to include thoughts such as, there is nothing my holiness cannot do, because the power of God lies in it. Introduce whatever variations appeal to you, but keep the exercises focused on the theme. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. The purpose of today's exercises is to begin to instill in you a sense that you have dominion over all things because of what you are. So, folks, this harkens back to what Alex and I have been talking about since the very beginning, that in everything we are being taught to see everything about ourselves and the world around us differently. That in everything, we are not a victim of the world we see. We are making the choices and decisions to believe and do the things that we are doing. And it's only in doing this work and looking at everything that we are believing in to be true that we can correct our misperceptions. Until we choose to actively do so and ask for those corrections, we cannot let these things go. Holy Spirit cannot step in and help us do this work until we ask, until we truthfully, honestly, and authentically ask from the heart for a correction to our misperceptions. Alex?
In the frequent shorter applications, apply the idea in its original form unless a specific problem concerning you or someone else arises or comes to mind. In that event, use the more specific form in applying the idea to it. And the more specific form would be in the situation involving blank, in which blank sees himself, there is nothing my holiness cannot do.
Exactly. So, this was lesson 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Do the work, folks. Look within at all these things you are thinking and believing. Take in what it is it's telling you here. And actively look at it with Holy Spirit. Only in that way can you find and heal your misperceptions. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Sabrina Reyenga.
And I am Alex Reyenga.
Be honest and authentic, folks. Only in being honest and authentic with yourself will the light be able to shine for you. You can't fake it, and you can't keep lying to yourself about any of it. It doesn't work. It will not work. You will continue to wonder why it is you feel like a failure and have no understanding as to why it is that's happening. We love you. Have a wonderful day. Love, light, and blessings. Namaste.